All right. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's doing all right today. Okay. Yo, yo, yo. Of course, China. We don't have a stream unless Teddy's here. So, boom. Y'all ready to get this party started? Indeed. All right. Well, Teddy has had a slightly disappointing day. My computer today has been acting up, so I had to run around and try to get it fixed. Got my little duster here. It's got a little sprayer. Teddy has not been a fan of the sprayer. He does not like the sound, as you can see. He is he gets slightly scared of the weirdest things. So it's okay, Teddy. You'll be alright. So no. That's not how this works. So hello, Teddy. Yes, can I help you? So yeah, so one of the things that I got to change slash fix today was I got to change our latency time. So the latency has been like 20 seconds, which drives me crazy. It's just too long. But I think I'm down to like 5 seconds now, so I'm not like way ahead of everything. Yeah, so he's probably a little annoyed that we haven't gone running around or anything. He got to get in the car, which he likes to do, but that's about it. So, all right, well, let's get after it. Let's get after it. He's wanting some kind of attention, but we got work to do. We got a test tomorrow. We got to get you kiddos prepared, which you will be. Be great. Hello. All right. Let's get started. This one, I'll give you some answer choices for you to use. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can go over all that stuff. Let me. I just want to get the ball rolling here for a little bit. Let's get some quiz questions out. Boop, 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 boop. So we'll be bringing Teddy tomorrow to school, but he's getting a bath or whatever. So I don't know if he's actually going to be able to come to class, which is probably for the best because y'all need to like study or you guys need to like focus and stuff. And there might be a few too much disruption if he is here. So, oh, this is so slow. Why? I'm hitting like all the wrong buttons. Here we go. All right. I'm like, Teddy, where'd you go? Are you, Teddy? I set this up over here so that people can see you. Come here, Teddy. Come here. Yeah, there you go. Go lay on the bed over there. Listen, they aren't here for me, Teddy. They're here for you. I need you to lie down where you're supposed to be. Yeah, good vibes. Yep, positive energy. We'll be fine. Yeah, we will definitely, yeah, fourth period we'll definitely make sure that we go over everything that we didn't get a chance to talk about. All right, you're like an inch. Okay. Why am I moving you? I have a camera that I can move. Use your brain, Mr. Monk. All right. Yes. Yeah, it'll be positively skewed. Perfect. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very good. Yep. Yep. Letter D, it would be positively skewed. All right, next question. The lighting on Teddy? Good evening. I don't know who Pomegranate Horse is, but my evening so far has been good. It is continuing to be good. Oh, Teddy, you gotta get your face in the screen. Does that capture it? Yoink. There you go. All right. Yeah, I got my thing working. Sakshi, there are always 50. There are always 50 questions on all my tests. So every time, 50 questions. Ooh. All right. China's on top of it, but the rest of you guys are stalling. Still thinking. You're here, but you're trying to figure out what the answer is. No, there will never be an FRQ with that. That sounds terrible. No, it will only be it'll only ever be 50 multiple choice questions. So imagine having to do both. Ugh, that would not be fun. All right, I am in fact waiting for a few more people to answer so that I feel like you guys know what's happening. Also check, there we go. Oh, no answer choices. Oh my gosh, this is so much better. It's so much faster. Yeah, debriefing. That happens. Yep, debriefing. Debriefing is what we're looking for. So, which procedure can reduce problems associated with the use of deception by a researcher? So, anytime you have to go in, you have to be a little less than honest with the people you're working with. You gotta at the end be like, hey, this is what we did. This is why we did it. These are the reasons. So yeah. All right. I will attempt to be more clear on the ones I'm gonna post a thing for. Okay. So here's a big one. All right. All right. So this is gonna take me a second. I gotta splice all this together. 958 letters, and I can only have 200. All right, so hold the. Oh, I cut out 208. So I have to do this. Okay, hold on. We got this. Okay, getting there. This is the first part. The first of many parts. Getting close. 3 more posts. All right, there we go. Okay, question in. So yeah, you're hitting me with the specific yeesh. Looking for the different ethical standards. Yeah, but what is the specific ethical problem? Do I need to put the thing up? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The permission to withdraw or not having permission to withdraw is the big one here. Yep. 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 Freedom to withdraw. Yep. Good. 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 Kids. Well done. All right. Here we go. Next one. Let's see. Ooh, I'm looking at all these questions. They got multiple answer choices in them. All right, here we go. All right, next one. We have multiple answer choices to look at. So bear with me. I'm going to get faster at these. All right, last answer choice. Boop. Okay, yeah, good. Easy peasy. All you have is uh, a person that is influenced by what they think is going to work, and it happens. Yep, individual expectation and what you believe is going to happen very often will strongly influence that thing. Okay, I'm going to give you a series of numbers. Which of these has the highest correlation? All right, there you go. Which of these is the highest correlation, or the strongest correlation? Okay. Okay, good. Let's talk about this. This is important. Okay. So what it is asking is for a strong correlation, not a strong negative. So remember, when we are looking at the strength of correlations, we need to. I just really don't have a good way of doing this, do I? I need to sort. I will one day figure out a better way of doing this. Okay, so when we are looking at correlations between two items, we are looking at the scale between -1 and +1, and then in the middle you have 0. Yoink. Okay, so the closer we get to either of these, either the -1 or the +1, the stronger the correlation. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, because this would be a strong positive correlation, and this would be a strong negative correlation. So the correct answer is -0.9, because it is still a strong correlation. It just happens to be negative. Now, the closer to 0 you have, the closer to nothing is happening. Okay, so let's do a graph here. Okay, so you have your -1 correlation. The closer you get to a -1, the more like this you have your graph. The more that one thing. This is what a -1 would look like. Okay, you have a -1 correlation. The more that one thing goes up, this is hard to do. Ever try to do this in a mirror? Okay, the more that one thing goes up, the more the other thing goes down. Yeah, the more the other thing goes down. Okay, now for the 0 correlation, okay, basically what you would have is you would have a graph with points that just are all over the place, and so you couldn't bring anything together. You couldn't make any sense of the data. So that means it has little to no correlation. So the closer to 0, positive or negative, the less of a correlation. And then for positive, remember, this is the ice cream sales and the murder rates, so they both go up at the same time. Okay, so that is a strong positive correlation, and they're basically parallel lines. Okay. All right. Okay. Yep, is a strong negative correlation. Nope. So okay, does that make sense? It's -0.9. Probably shouldn't have put the 0 at the end, but it's -0.9. Okay. Give me some. I need some thumbs up. Does that make sense? If that does not make sense to you, we can try it again. But that's big time stuff. You got to be able to do that because there's going to be a question on the test about that type of stuff. So if that is confusing you, you could probably also just hop onto YouTube and just find a person that explains it better than me. So maybe like a statistician or something. I don't know. There are a lot of smart people on the internet that are happy to tell you things. So okay. So here we go. Can I re-explain? China, you can go back. I'm a little worried about time because I have so much that I have to talk about. So you can go back and rewatch it later. I kind of started explaining it at like 13 or 14 minutes. If you still don't get it, I'd watch it online, or you can come see me in the morning. But on these, I have a lot to talk about, so I don't want to go over again and again. So let's put these up. Here are the answer choices. I know you guys are already answering, but I'm also going to give all right. Also, it is entirely possible that my computer does explode before the end of the stream, and if it does, if this thing like just cuts off, my computer's died and is going away and will never be back. So uh, we will be cutting the stream off there, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Good, positive correlation. Excellent, 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 excellent. Okay. Yeesh. All right. I'm gonna do one. Two. It's like, think of it, a camel. It's got two humps. So let's say you were. So you think of like a normal distribution, um, as looking like a bell. A bimodal. Oh, that's terrible. A bimodal has two humps. So you'll see it's got a bell and then it's got another bell, and so it's basically showing you it's going off the page, but basically it's showing you like, hey, um, there was a test in such and such's class, and you either studied and got a good grade, or you didn't study and you totally failed. You would have a bimodal distribution. Not a lot of people in the middle, but people kind of spread. So, all right. We technically don't need to. It's one of those things that I could have talked about. Just it's whatever. It's I haven't really seen it on tests, so I'm not worried about it. Yep. Okay. Good. Method. Types of notes. Okay. Perfect. All right. So let me do this. This is especially for um, fourth period who I was unable to get to the last uh, few slides. So let me see if I can quickly let me quickly go through these perspectives um, before I ask more questions. So can I screen share? I'm using this OBS thing. Okay, I'm gonna give myself 30 seconds. 30 seconds to try to figure this out. Okay, scenes, add. Okay. No, I don't want to do that. I want to add this. Add a display capture? Sure, display capture. Alright, okay. Okay, what is this trying to capture? What is it displaying? All right, I'm running out of my 30 seconds. Okay, I can't find it. Okay, sorry. I was hoping to make this work, but that'll be something I have to mess with later. Okay, so it's not a big deal. It's just pictures. We'll start with Gestalt psychology. So remember, Gestalt psychology was started by a bunch of German dudes, and they basically wanted to show. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, most people are only here because of Teddy. Yeah, yeah, but he's no, he's fine. Uh, no, Teddy's good. Okay, so all right, so let's go with this. Okay, so Gestalt psychology. So basically, a bunch of German guys got together, and it's this idea that the world is so expansive, and there's so much going on that our brain is trying to process all of that information. The world is chaotic; it's all over the place, and so um, our brain is trying to process that all of that information and make sense of the world, and so it does that by taking individual parts and kind of combining it all into a whole. So we perceive the world as a whole instead of individual parts, and we'll go more into that later in the year. But basically, the Gestalt school of psychology got kind of pushed into just the concept of perception, how we perceive and understand the world, because it really didn't talk a lot about a lot of other things, and it really just focused in on this thing. So it's all about perceiving the world as a whole, and generally it is doing this through the way that we perceive the world, how we understand it from our senses. Okay, so that's Gestalt psychology. Next, we have humanistic psychology. This is a focus on growing, being the best that you can be. It was started by a gentleman by the name of Carl Rogers. He wanted to change the way that he wanted to change the patient to psychologist relationship and make it more on level terms. You know, you have the psychologist who's like above the patient and like telling him what to do, and Carl Rogers is like, no, 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 that's not working. We need what is called a client-centered therapy, where the two are on the same level. So this person's not telling this guy what to do, and we'll talk more about this later. But it's all about being there for the person, being not a I know everything, but like helping them work through. And it's this idea that problems that people have are just hurdles. They're not like these big issues that you need me in order to solve. It is something that together we can help you become the best that you can be. Um, oh, is there a summary on Schoology tomorrow? I'll fix that. There's not supposed to be one tomorrow. Will I go over this tomorrow too? I will not go over this tomorrow too. We have a test. Yes, that is a no. Does the Gestalt perspective analyze the world as a whole or in parts? Veronica, that's the idea, is that we can't, the world is too dissimilar. There's too many things to focus on. So our brain kind of melds that stuff together. And it is how our brain understands it as a whole in order to help us survive. Yep. Uh, Aman. Sorry, bud. Yep. So yeah, someone help out Aman. Let's see if you can help out. Here we go. Dalton's got it. Okay. He can go back, or those of you. So hey, this is like really good. Amana, I'm glad that you asked this. You know, dozing off or watching something else on this is totally like I am. I won't get my feelings hurt. I can't speak for Teddy, but I don't get my feelings hurt. So ask these kinds of questions, and people on the chat, if Mr. Monk starts talking about something you're like, ugh, I know what he's talking about, like you can answer these types of questions and help other people out. Like Dalton, Dalton, you're covering for me. So this helps me. This helps you if you're able to explain something that shows mastery over it, and it actually helps you practice because you have to think about, okay, how can I explain this thing to somebody else? How can I put it in verbiage that they can understand? So that's all. It's all good stuff. Okay, so that's humanistic therapy, or not therapy. We haven't talked about that. The humanistic perspective. Next, we have the neuroscience or the biological or physiological perspective, and this came around. It's one of the newer ones, and the reason for it is we have a better understanding um, of what the brain is doing. Um, and that's because we have machinery and tools that allow us to see what the brain is doing, where we didn't have that kind of technology years and years ago. And so the neuroscientific, the biological, or the physiological is all about, okay, what the heck is the brain doing? Why does this person have this problem? Well, it's because they have this brain abnormality, or they have this thing that they have a problem with. So the major difference between the cognitive perspective and the neuroscientific perspective is the neuroscience slash biological is worried about the brain, okay, and like how the brain physically works. The cognitive aspect is more about like the brain processes, like how you think about things. Like they're both, everything's focused on the brain and what it's doing, but the cognitive is just like, why? So the cognitive side would be, why do you have a problem? You have a problem because you think about things in an irrational way, or the way that you process information is not good. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got was from a cognitive psychologist, and I was talking to her about some stuff, and she's like, "Yo, like, Mr. Monk, the way that you uh, think about things, like you create stories, and we do, and I see this all the time in my life and other people's lives, is we create stories about what we think is happening in the world before we even go and ask somebody what's going on. So I think, like, I'm like, okay, I did this thing, and this person thought this way about what I did. Well, you don't know that. You're creating a story, which is often irrational and not what's really going on about what that person's thinking, and you don't know that. And so, what a cognitive psychologist is saying is like, okay, the way that you think about the world is wrong. This is how let's like work to curtail that. Let's work to kind of to think about the world better. Now, a neuroscientist, if you had a problem, they'd be like, okay, well, let's figure out what brain abnormality you have. What is physically wrong with the brain, or what chemical imbalance do you have? That's the difference between the two. Jessica, give me a thumbs up. Okay, you got it. All right, perfect. Okay. All right. I didn't even see. Humanistic psychology. Psychologist and patient are equal, and it's based on being the best you can be. Yep, perfect. Safa's got it. Way to go, girl. Okay. All right. So that is neuroscience and cognitive. That's what you need to know for that. Remember, evolutionary. Functionalists actually became behavioralists, and then later on, people are like, "Wait a minute, the evolution, like this, Darwin's theory still applies," and so evolutionary psychologist came about. And It's the same thing. Like, why do you do the things that you do? We do that thing because that is what our ancestors did in order to survive. Boom, done. Okay, and then lastly, we have biopsychosocial. I'll type that out in the thing because it's kind of obnoxious. Biopsychosocial. Okay, biopsychosocial is is really just kind of the combination of all the different schools of psychology. And wait, didn't I just explain evolutionary psychology, Timothy? Did I not do a good job of that? Yeah, remember the evolutionary psychology is like you had you had functionalists, and then they became behavioralists, and then later on down the road, there are people like, hey, Darwin's theories are still legit. Like, why do you have a problem? You have a problem because when you have a problem because our ancestors needed this in order to survive. Why do you I use the example of overeating. Why do you have certain fears of spiders or certain fears of heights? Well, people in our ancestry that were, near cliffs and fell off didn't survive, or who weren't scared of cliffs and fell off didn't survive and didn't make babies. And the people who were scared of cliffs stayed away from them, so they survived. So there you go. Cool. All right. All right. Are we good with this? If it is Amr. Is Amr here? Amr, you've got to have better things to do with yourself, my friend. You're not even in this class. All right, sweet. Okay, so I have just done a bunch of lecture stuff, so I'm going to get back to questions. If you have more questions, bring them on. Bring it. I'm ready. But otherwise, let's do some questions. What's up, Ahmed? No FRQ. No FRQ. Yeah. Alina, yes. It's just a combination of the schools. No FRQ. Yep. Biopsychosocial is a combination. Biological, what's happening in the brain. Psycho, what's happening in the mind. How is it processing things. Social, how does society influence what we're going on. Most psychologists today are that thing. Here we go. Next question, boys and girls. Let's get after it. Start stretching the mind. Start thinking about these things. Remember, guys, so much of these tests is about application. Not every question is going to be application, but but a lot of them are. I really try to do it as much as possible. So I'll bring some lower stuff, lower end stuff, but I want you to be able to consistently apply these terms to real life. That's just what the AP exam is going to throw at you, and that's the best way to pull this information together. Okay. All right. Cognitive. Good. 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 All right. Next question. Cognitive is what we are looking for. All right. I'm harping on all of these example types things. Okay. What are you confused about, Timothy? Which theoretical perspective in psychology attempts to characterize the way in which humans store and process sensory information? Storing, processing, thinking, processing information. Cognitive. Cognitive. Structuralist. Yeah, Veronica, I think when we come to something like structuralism, they're going to be talking about introspection. They're going to be talking about use that vehicle, because that's how you studied structuralism, was through that, looking at viewing something inside of them, trying to process that thing, and then expressing what they saw. That's going to be structuralism every time. Okay. This is looking at the way that we like storing. Storing is talking about memory, which is a part of thinking, stuff like that. Yep. Yep. Structuralism is breaking things down into its subsequent parts. I totally didn't say that. Okay. What's the best way to study for the test in your opinion? Wait, can you go over the different types of tests? Yeah, I can go over the different types of tests. Okay, so Alina, it's too late to be asking about what's the best way to study for the test. The best way to study for my test is what I've already given to you. Every single night, spending 15 minutes doing second summaries, hopping on the streams, which is great, or whatever works best for you. Um, Spending small periods of time studying every day is better than cramming at the end. At this point, um, you know, hopping tonight, you should be like all of these questions, like you should know most of this stuff, and this should be just kind of like um, touching up your knowledge and whatnot, and asking small questions, but you should know most of it. Because you want to get a good night's rest tonight. You don't want to stay up too late. So you want to be able to pair information together. You want to be able to make the things relatable to you. We'll talk about all these strategies later when we get to cognition and learning. But when you're able to take information that you are learning and this gets to the application thing, and apply it to what you know, and apply it to, these are like the mnemonic device type things. This best way of learning. Achievement is correct, by the way. Okay, different types of tests. First, you have intelligence tests, just measuring your intelligence, easy. Achievement test. This is tomorrow. Tomorrow, you're taking an achievement test. How much do you know about the things that we've talked about? And then lastly, you have aptitude tests, and aptitude tests are looking at what is your future potential. What can we what is your future hold in this area, or what is your possibility? um, how good are you going to be at this other thing? All right. So for the test, will we need to know the theorists and what they did? Yes, 100%. Yes. If I talk to you about a theorist, you should know what he went through, what he started. So, Wilhelm Wundt, structuralism. William James, functionalism. I talked behavioralism. I said Ivan Pavlov and B.F. Skinner. I don't think there are any questions about those two on the test. Psychoanalytical approach, Sigmund Freud, big time. Definitely need to know him. Gestalt Psychology was just a bunch of German dudes. You don't need to know that. Humanistic theory was Carl Rogers. You need to know that. Cognitive psychology is Aaron Beck. You don't really need to know that. We'll talk about Beck later. Evolutionary, no one really. And then neurological, biopsychosocial, don't need to know those. So biological or neuroscience wasn't like anyone in particular. So yeah, don't. The thing is, guys, like y'all really. I mean, I'm not you, so I don't know, but y'all have been paying attention. Like this test isn't gonna be any different from your quiz. Like so far as like if you like I'm asking all these questions, and for a lot of these I'm not giving you answer choices, and people are like rattling them off. So if I'm putting up questions and you're getting them without answer choices, just remember you're going to have answer choices tomorrow for all of these things. So be nervous, that's fine. It's the first test. Um you're gonna feel nervous, that's okay. But don't overthink about it. Like in the end, it's just a test. Um, and while they are important, this is part of cognitive thinking. How many of you have definitely had this thought go past your head? If I fail this test, I am going to die. Like if I fail this test, my life is going to fall apart. Like we've all had those thoughts, and a cognitive psychologist is all about like that's totally irrational. You are not going to die. You're going to be disappointed. Your parents might get pissed at you, but the day's going to go up. Day's going to go on. Sun's going to rise. Sun's going to set, and the world's going to go on. Hopefully, you can find some ways to rebound that grade. But like, gonna be okay. So, stay cool. Stay cool. Yeah. More questions coming. More questions. Yep. This is an aptitude test. Yeah. Yes. I don't know who that person is though. A. Listen, I'm here for you guys. I want you to be successful. You're gonna do great. All right. Here we go. A lot of these say like which of the following approaches. Just ignore that. If I'll put up answer choices if I want to put up answer choices, but I probably won't. So if you show us, if guys, I don't have a girlfriend. Come on, Timothy. Come on. You think I have a girlfriend? I do not. No GF for me. Yeah. Yeah. Single life. Single life. Okay, I'll put up some answer choices for this. You guys are a little. Ooh, this one's a little tough. Here, all right, hold on. Let me. Yeah. China's got the right ideas. Oh, they're talking about sex. Is it psychoanalysis? No. Okay, here we go. Let me give you some answer choices. I want you to think. Stop. I want you to read through that question and really think about what it's asking. What is it asking? What are they trying to get from me? No, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that'll happen when it's just like sex. It's like, oh, are we talking about the psychoanalytical approach? No, not always here. Um, we are not going to. So do, we when psychoanalysis for you right now should not be sex. Psychoanalysis for you right now should simply be unconscious mind. I'm not supposed to spill the beans on the fact that we're going to talk about sex a whole bunch. Okay, so don't think sex and psychoanalytical yet. That comes later. Evolutionary, yes. Adaptive, that's the key word that you're looking for. Evolutionary. Remember, evolutionary is not Freud. Freud is psychoanalytical. He didn't agree with a lot of what evolutionary psychologists were all about. Okay, so suggests that jealousy might serve as an adaptive function, adaptation, survival. Okay, protecting sexual relationship from threats. Why do we want to keep the people that we have sexual relationships with alive? Because they bear our offspring. They are part of the offspring aspect. Sorry, that was an answer from a male perspective. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. Okay, so this is gonna be this. There is no. Ooh, no. Freud is not evolutionary. Freud is psychoanalytical. Um, Functionalism is William James. The New Age evolutionary, like when functionalism turned into behavioralism and evolutionary kind of popped back up. There's no specific psychologist that is tied to that. They'll talk about Darwin or whatever, but he didn't really apply it to humans. Yep, easy. Okay, now I love this question because this is something else that we didn't talk about um, in class. But psychoanalytical approach is all about your childhood. We will talk about this in depth later, but a psychoanalyst believes that like all of your problems stem from your childhood. The reason the hang-ups and the problems that Mr. Monk has now are because of issues that happened in his childhood. So you'll see a lot of like unconscious mind dealing with childhood, all of that stuff. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. Yep. Iceberg. Good work. All right. Okay, so this is a term that I don't know if I talked about today, but let's see if you get it anyways. I think you can get it. I'm going to put some answer choices up for you. I think you can get this. There's enough verbiage in this question to get this answer correct. I think you can do it. I have faith. It's another one of the perspectives. It's one of the approaches. There's some real specific verbiage here that I want you to see. So you get most of the fly swatter worksheet questions right. You should be good. Sakshi, I'm not saying that like you're perfectly fine. But that's good. That's really good that you got those. Um, like that's solid. If you're like going through and popping those off, and you're just like, I know what this is. I know what this is. I mean, recognize that on your test you might have, you know, at least one or two questions that deal with those. That will be like you'll have like 2 to 4 that is like snap easy, and then you might have a couple that you're gonna have to like really think on. So just keep that in mind. But overall, if you keep those things in line, you'll be okay. Ooh, yeah. Sorry, I'm sorry. Psychodynamic. Psychodynamic. For right now, psychodynamic, psychoanalytical, same thing. We'll talk about the differences later. But for our purposes now, they're the same. Yep. Yep. Sorry. I pull questions from other people to help, and sometimes I just don't catch those. It's the same thing for now. Hey, no, no, there's going to be more questions from that. All right, well, here's the thing. Like you have 50 questions, you have 3 chapters that we've covered. So you got to be smart. So sometimes like next week we're going to be talking about neurotransmitters, and for some students they're just like, this is too much, like I can't remember all this stuff. And my advice to you is to not memorize all of them, because you have to be smart. Like how many questions are going to be about neurotransmitters? Maybe 3. And so you focus on a couple of them, and and hope to get lucky. So don't go crazy. All right. So I'm going to give the wording on this is a little bit strange, so I'm going to give you answer choices on this one. Okay. Can we get an AP curve? AP curves, Timothy, are for the weak. For the weak. Can you give us some questions over the theorists? I don't remember them super well. I will. Let me see if I have some, Dalton. I will look for some. Uh, you will get most of the period. You won't have all of it, but you'll get the majority of it. Remember, we're gonna start very quickly pulling your time down. You've got 50 questions, and by the end, you'll have 45 minutes to take the test. So you'll very very quickly start losing a lot of your time. Yep. Factor analysis, guys. Factor analysis. Yep. Factor analysis. Y'all are killing it. Absolutely killing it. All right, here we go. All right, next question. extra credit always goes to daily grades. They will not go to your test. Can you imagine? I just got 15 extra points on my test. That was nice. Nope. No, 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 no. That would be. I mean, my class isn't the hardest class out there by far, but I'd prefer it not to be considered a complete joke. The only jokes in this class are my my jokes. uh, all right. Why not standardization? Let's go back to the question. Which of the following methods is used to studies to design to determine the primary components of intelligence? Um, uh, Standardized tests, or excuse me, IQ tests are standardized. They definitely do that. You have to make sure that they're standardized. But this is asking you to understand um, what the primary components, the different aspects of that person's intelligence. Standardization is talking about kind of the whole thing and how the question is asked. Factor analysis is saying, okay, this person, primary component, has this type of intelligence, is not very intelligent in this, but is really intelligent in this thing. The primary components, the individual pieces. Standardized is talking about the whole thing that influences those individual parts. That's why it's factor analysis. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, factor analysis, Jessica. Okay. So factor analysis, really simple, is tomorrow on your test, you are going to have 3 different chapters. You're going to have testing and intelligence, research methods and statistics, and history and approaches. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to break those down into a total of 6 individual parts: research methods, statistics, intelligence, testing, history, approaches. And so when I start looking at the data from that test, I'm going to be like, okay, this person here got all of the questions on history wrong. Okay, so maybe we need to go back and talk to that student about, or go over those things. What did they miss? Oh, they literally missed that day. Okay, now I better understand why this person, um, you know, did the way that they did. And so you can do this like with any type of test. Is you break down, like, you took a psychology unit 1 exam, but that's not the whole picture. Like, you got an 80 an 88. Why did you get an 88? Well, because you missed this one day, and all the questions from that one day you got wrong. So that's what factor analysis is. Okay, will the questions on the test be worded similar to these? Because I'm having kind of a difficult time understanding some of them. Zara, yeah, this is it. So I am pulling a lot of questions from big question banks, old stuff that I have, and yeah, this is what's going on. And so, Zara, one of the big things about this is that you got to get used to, like, the AP exam is not written by me. So I write some of these test questions and is worded in the way that I'm doing things, but there are a lot of questions that aren't from me. So you've got to get used to, and I like to throw you stuff that's not worded by me, so that you have a better, full, encompassed understanding of it. So hey, welcome. This is it. This is how you get better. This is how you get this stuff together. So you got this. I believe in you. Yep, savant, 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 savant. Okay. All right, you're welcome. So hey, just remember, there are flashcards on. If you go to the review section, if you go to the review section of each of these things, there are flashcards for you. So they have already been made. Sometimes they are not. There are some that aren't always on there. Yeah, you don't have time for crying. No time for tears. Too much studying to be done. Yeah, they're already made for you. You can use those. They're pretty good. They're decent. They have like little pictures on them and stuff. They're cute. Yeah, no all nighters. Go to sleep. Yeah. Okay. Uh, I mean, you need to know who they're tied to. Yeah. Like yes. Yeah. You need to know all of them. There's not that many. I'm glad you got it. Who was it? Anurag printed all. I don't know if he's done it for every chapter, but he printed them out, and it was all in color. I was so impressed. It'd been a while. I've never seen them all in color before, because I don't have a print. We don't have a colored printer on the school. Teddy, you for how much energy I'm expecting you to have, you've been quite docile today. So okay. Um, all right. I know I had some questions with the specific psychologists on there, their names. Okay. I mean, this is an easy one, but here you go. I can throw. I'll just write some of my own, so I can put some of these guys' names on here, so you can remember. Come here. Hey man, my life could be way worse. No strokes. No strokes. Yeah, the spelling is not terribly important. Docile means like, yeah, calm. Yep. Can you give Teddy a boop for you? Sure. Teddy, boop. There you go. Yeah, he. You might not know this, but he's ready to go. The minute I get up, well, let's see what happens if I get up. If he is he gonna jump? Oh, yeah, see. So just imagine this on a constant basis, where if I shift too much, he like this is pretty. He will, if he wants to go, he'll like get up and be. Oh, are you bored? Are you bored? All right. Okay. Okay. So did I post a question? I posted a question, guys. Yeah, Siggy Freud. All right, good. All right. Founder. Yeah, there's one due tonight. Just extra credit. Don't stay up all night doing it. It's just supposed to be last a little bit. It probably will take you a little bit. We did a lot. We covered a lot of info. Are you not gonna play with this at all? Yeah, you got energy. Yep, William James. Very good. All right. Is he gonna play? He's thinking. He's got a lot of. It's hard being a dog. So much to worry about. Um, looking for. Mm, yeah, William James with the first two names. Poor guy. Poor guy. Oh, Teddy. What happened? He's. I think he hurt his. He's got like a bad muscle or something. He hasn't been running as hard as he usually does. Teddy, ball. Wanna go get it? Ball. Go. No. Okay. I'm on camera, Teddy. You're supposed to pretend like you obey me. Here, Jose. Come. Yeah, this is Savant. Antisocial personality disorder we'll talk about later, Amr. You should be studying for another class or something. You don't even have this class. Come on, kid. Come on. Come on. You gotta have better things to do with your life. All right, next question. Here's Teddy's tail. Thank you. Hey, Miriam. Y'all, answer questions. Answer questions. It is 9 o'clock, but I'm staying on a little bit longer because this is y'all. I don't want to leave you guys a complete wreck. Thank you, Cheyenne. Teddy, you gonna get the ball? Ball? Oh. Ball? Thank you. Good boy. Oh, sorry, Veronica. See, I think I've been a little too distracted today. All right, here we go. Next question. See, this is why these are always terrible watching afterwards, because it's like, all right, Mr. Monk spends 15 minutes not paying attention to his job and just doing random stuff with Teddy. There you go. I'm actually so glad you joined this stream. Okay. Teddy is not photogenic, actually. He is such a pain to actually get a good picture of because his fur is so dark, and so and then he doesn't often sit still, especially when you're like trying to put a camera in front of him. He knows, and so he like does nonsense. That is true. It's only Denver. Good work, Teddy. Good job, bud. Now it's time to eat that bear. You deserve it. Good work. All right. In the early years of psychology, a research participant might have been asked to observe carefully and systematically his conscious experiences. What method would the participant be using? This is introspection. Remember, unconscious mind when we're talking about the psychoanalytical approach, we are saying the unconscious mind. At this point, that's it. Okay, that's what it is. Oh, Veronica, the Teddy slander is, it's real. Like, this is, I make fun of Teddy all the time. It's just it's how I get by. He can't say anything back. He's a dog, so he doesn't understand what I'm saying. So yeah, exactly, Jessica. Yep. Yep. Introspection is what we are looking for. There we go. This is kind of a weird question. Let's see if you guys can sort it out. He only chews on that one leg. The other leg is like perfectly fine. That one leg he's after. He's chewing on it. Yeah, Lewis Terman definitely supports the G factor. Yeah. Hey, Amr, if you're interested in learning, we're all about that here. Yep, 50%. Yeah, it's kind of a weird question, but in a normal distribution of a test score is the percentage of scores that fall at or below the mean. So remember, it's a perfect bell, and so 50% is on one side, 50% is on the other. Easy peasy. Spearman, Charles Spearman. Spearman. Okay. Here, I'll rattle off. Yeah, reliable. Good. Yep, reliable. Okay. Who? Who is the? I'm not going to ask this question in the thing. Let's just rattle off some stuff. Who? Um. Who's the guy that came up with? He's a multiple intelligence person, and he broke intelligence into three parts. It was the creative intelligence, the book smarts, and the street smarts guy. Practical and analytical. Is it analytical? Something like that. Yeah. Who's that guy? Who is that guy? Last names. Last names. First names will not help you. Last names are what are always on the test, not first names. No, not Wex. Sternberg. Sternberg. Okay, remember Sternberg's one of our big multiple intelligence people. Broken into three parts: book smart, street smarts. Excuse me, practical, analytical, and then creative. Okay, Sternberg. Okay, so um, let's see. Next we have what psychologist or uh, what old white dude is known as kind of like the founder or the father of like modern intelligence studies. He was really big in the eugenics movement. I can say that I'm white. And I'm getting old now. Oof, 31. Oof. Ah, ah, no, no, no. Eugenics movement. Ah, there we go. There we go. Sir Francis Galton. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Now, not modern of modern psychology. The father of modern intelligence study is Sir Francis Galton. Um, that's good. Yeah, Sir Francis Galton. But Dalton, I wouldn't want to be too closely, correlated with that guy. 31 is also not young. Bomber. It is not young. Okay. Um, coming in behind him, who was the first intelligence theorist to create a usable intelligence test? He's pretty racist. First first person to create a usable intelligence test. Validity is the fact that tomorrow your test is going to be talking about psychology stuff. If your test tomorrow was asking you about um, uh, your knowledge of Dungeons and Dragons or your knowledge of the sport of rugby, that would not be a valid test. My test tomorrow needs to show your mastery of psychology. All right, hey, guys, I'm seeing some wrong answers. That's okay, but hey, when we close out tonight, before you go to bed, you need to get these names down. Remember, in all honesty, it's not all that much. You really only have a few people to remember, and unfortunately, they're all a bunch of old white people, so they all look the same. But you got to get these down, okay? Yeah. So Wexler is the guy who took the IQ test, the intelligence quotient, and was like, all right, this isn't good enough for adults. Like, this breaks down when you get above the age of 18. And a intelligence or a chronological age versus a mental age of a 45 and a 44-year-old is really not that big of a difference, and that's hard to measure. So he's going to create the Weiss test, the Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale, and that is what we are now going to use to do intelligence tests. And if you remember from that picture, it is very well standardized that you don't need. There's not a lot of reading. It's a lot of shapes. It's a lot of pictures, and it does a very good job of testing someone's intelligence, and you don't even need to speak the language in order to do it. No, Wexler was not the G. Oh, was he a G factor supporter? No. Wexler was more of a multiple intelligence guy. Do we have to remember the guy who was wasted his life to prove that one guy wrong? No, technically he's not. LL Thurstone is not on the test. Oh, I probably should put him on there just because I like him so much. I just feel bad for the guy. I want people to remember him, but the only thing to really remember him for is the fact that he failed. So. Can you post the PowerPoint you used in class? No, Sakshi, I cannot. It is the PowerPoint is not on there, but my notes are. So, and my notes are straight from my PowerPoint. So, yep. Wexler Adult Intelligence Scale. Mm-hmm. What, the Wexler Adult Intelligence Scale sounds like your life, Vivian? I'm not 100% sure that I understand that. Okay. Let's see. I skipped some questions. I can go back. What do we got here? Did that. All right, here we go. All right, this has got a few answer choices, so let's see how you do. Let's see how you do. No LL Thurstone. That's so sad. I really should put him on the test just for fun. Enter. Here we go. Come here. Stop being dumb. There we go. All right, and last answer choice. Oh, they don't call him LL for nothing. Nice. Yeah. It's tough. I think in a lot of ways we all do, Zara. In a lot of ways. Good, guys. Good. Chess. Yes. Yes. Problem solving strategies in chess. Good. It is definitely letter C. Conformity behavior of college students? No, that's biopsychosocial, possibly behavioral. But yeah, it's definitely letter C. Problem solving, thinking, processing. So much of your life is problem solving. So much of what you do every day is trying to figure out, what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, who you're going to talk to, what are you going to say, how are you going to answer this question. Your life is full of problem solving, big and small. We'll talk about that later. Like, as a teacher, it's so frustrating sometimes talking about B is not technically is not. I am not saying B is the correct answer. I just miscopied and pasted. But all right, here we go. I don't remember what I was talking about before I messed this up, but I'll be okay. Okay, there we go. Hey, you do you. I recommend you going to sleep. You got the summer. Come on in anytime. Yeah, a lot of people, probably a lot of tests tomorrow. How many people have more than 2 tests? I know Coach Diaz and Coach Koopman have a test tomorrow, which I'm not super happy about. I don't like testing on those days because I know a lot of you have that. Coach Diaz has got 2 tests tomorrow if you've got his his government test or government class. I'm on a third of the test. A third of the test is what we covered on the quiz. Yeah, a little bit more than that. A little bit more than a third. Yeah, you guys all got this. We're going to do great. You're all going to do great. Yep. Innate fear of the dark. Very good. Evolutionary psychology. Why the heck are so many people scared of the dark? Doesn't really make sense. But because the people that were scared of the dark generally, didn't die, those are the people that are going to pass on their genes. Is it cowardly? Sure. But those are the people that survived, and that is what matters. That is what matters. Fortunately, you can also kind of direct that to why males tend to be so aggressive. The aggressive ones were the ones that were strong enough to survive. Nowadays, it's not as important. All right. Coach Leando? Man, these dang soccer coaches. Oh my gosh, for the worst. Leando, I don't think he's supposed to do that. Ooh, I'm going to have a talk with him. I don't know what a Cherokee. Oh, yeah. No, those study guides are legit though. Like if you do Coach Diaz's study guides and you don't, like just copy off your friend or do it last minute, those things are so good. I It's one of the things that I've really thought about like putting together for my class, but it's just too much work at home. So I went with the second summaries instead. Ooh, Samra. I think that's a good joke, Samra. That is a good joke. Yep, letter C is correct. Letter C. Yeah, the problem is like, um, especially for me, like it's the start of a semester and you got to get all of your tests within a certain amount of time. You have to have a certain amount of them, and so oftentimes it kind of um, pops up on the 3 weeks. The third week, the sixth week, and the ninth week are always the most stressful weeks for students because most teachers have tests that week. So, Nyan, you better be taking that test unless you have a very good reason not to. I know all of the uh, A-push teachers. Oh my gosh, Samra, I don't want to know that you haven't started your study guide. Don't post that on on here. Coach Diaz and I are very close friends. Like, don't say that. All right. Oh, Model UN. Yeah, Model UN people, good luck. You will not have that test tomorrow, but you guys are going to do great. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Okay. Well, that's going to do it for me and Teddy tonight. It is 9:19. So you guys got this. So please make sure that you guys go to bed at a good time. Don't stay up too late. That'll kill you. You've got the information down. You guys have been studying. You've been working hard. So get a good night's sleep tonight. You need your brain to process that information and store it away for tomorrow. So get some sleep. Tomorrow, have a good breakfast, and know that Teddy is at the school, but he can't be in our classroom. He'll be getting a bath probably while we're in third period or something. I don't know. But yeah, y'all have a good night. Know that we're with you. We're supporting you. You got this. We believe in you. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. All right, end stream, and then they pop up with another thing that